but the
I love this music for a Monday night. We do begin this evening tracking this winter weather system across central Indiana. We are getting more snow and colder temperatures.
It is not nice out there. I hope you're inside and cozy because this is what it looks like outside on the roads right now. This is out on I-70 westbound near Cumberland. So this is east of 465 on the east side. It's slow going. Alex Almanza's got our drive cam out there showing us the weather conditions.
So we got this weather impact alert day, and this is going to be hanging around impacting us both tonight and tomorrow, right?
And tomorrow morning. Be thinking now, it's going to take me longer to get where I need to go tonight and tomorrow. I just talked to somebody. It's almost triple drive time. So a 25-minute drive is taking 75 minutes.
Wow.
So just be thinking, yes, it's going to take me longer. I'd prepare for double drive time at least tonight and even tomorrow morning. We've got several inches of snow in the forecast. Most of us will end up in that range of 2 to 4 inches. I do want to show you some of the steadier bursts of snow. We dive into Marion County and south. If you focus on the area of darker blue from Greenwood south to Franklin over to just north of Shelbyville into Rush County approaching Connorsville, this indicates some of that heavier snow. We have some steadier bursts of snow from Portland south along 27 into Winchester. Weather impact alert. Yes, it continues all the way through early tomorrow for snow-covered and slick roads. We do expect some school delays and cancellations tomorrow, so allow some extra travel time. And childcare, I know, becomes very tricky when you've got school delays, so be thinking about that as well. Many delays and closures tomorrow. Wind chills will be in the teens. We don't make it out of the 20s for highs tomorrow afternoon.
All right, Angela, thanks so much. Well, as we mentioned earlier and we showed you with the drive cam, the winter weather is really making the commute home tonight pretty unbearable.
And we've got Alex Almanza out in the conditions right now talking about this weather impact alert. So Alex, tell us exactly where you are and how slow are people going at this point?
Hey there, our photographer Kylan and I are headed west toward Indianapolis on I-70. We just passed Cumberland, the Cumberland exit. But like you said, this is kind of a manic Monday. Some of those road conditions have deteriorated as the sun has kind of gone down, and it's kind of doubling the commute. So definitely take it slow. We haven't really seen too many slide-offs or any crashes, but you know, as long as people are really taking it slow, we're kind of about 30-35 miles an hour right now, which is what most of the traffic is. Most of the other traffic is going at about the same speed, but definitely put that planning into your schedule if you're planning on going out. And also for tomorrow morning, if you're planning on heading out to work, that commute is definitely going to be a little bit tricky as this snow turns into slush.
All right, Alex, thanks so much. And please, you and Kylan, be careful when you're out there on the roads tonight. And for our viewers at home, you can keep track of the forecast right along with our meteorologists with the Live Doppler 13 weather app. Yeah,
be sure to check out their weather blog when you download it. You can also use it to check out school delays and closures because we know those will probably be coming in overnight.
To other news making headlines tonight, our other big story, Indiana state lawmakers are back at the Indiana State House starting the 2026 legislative session a month earlier than originally planned.
Yeah, the lawmakers are taking up this issue of redrawing Indiana's congressional districts. And now we're getting our first look at the map. We've got live team coverage for you at the State House. Emily Longnecker is looking into what all this means for future elections.
And Jenna Webster is hearing from Hoosiers who are against the plan. So let's start with Emily. Emily, let's first start with this map. What can you tell us about this proposal and what that redrawing in effect would accomplish?
Well, Ann and Scott, the proposed map was put together by lawmakers in the House and Senate here in consultation with something called the National Redistricting Trust out of D.C. That's according to Republican House Speaker Todd Houston. The speaker said a few times today that Indiana is not in a vacuum and that redistricting is being taken up all across the country, and now it is being taken up here. And Speaker Houston said this proposed map was drawn to give the greatest advantage to Republicans in Indiana so they could gain 2 more congressional seats in Congress. And here's the way Republicans are trying to do that. This is the proposed map which dropped this morning. It carves Marion County into 4 different congressional districts. It also makes changes to incorporate more Republican-leaning counties into Indiana's 1st congressional district. The redistricting bill also includes language that would block any legal challenges to these maps before the 2026 midterm elections. Only the Indiana State Supreme Court would be able to rule on any legal challenges. House Speaker Todd Huston has said the votes are there to pass the proposed map in the House. IU political science professor Paul Helmke says the real chamber to watch is the Senate, where he believes passage is not so certain.
I still think the Senate's a big question mark on what they do here. Again, you've got 40 Republican senators, but that means you just need, assuming that all the Democrats are going to be opposed to that, you just need, to get 16 of them to join the 10 Democrats, and you're going to stop this. And we've had a certain number say they're for mid-decade redistricting. We've had a certain number say they're against it, but we still have a number of Republican senators who haven't committed. Some saying they wanted to see the map first, some saying they wanted to hear the arguments. Now they're going to have a map to look at, and they'll have to go on record with this.
And speaking of the Senate Democratic State Senator Fatty Kador saying today he's also filed a bill on redistricting, a bill to prevent it from happening mid-cycle. So what are the next steps? Well, now the bill heads to committee. That committee, the Elections and Apportionment Committee, will take testimony from the public starting at 9 a.m. tomorrow. That's where the public will be able to testify for or against this proposed bill, and lawmakers will be able to offer any changes. House Speaker Todd Huston saying he hopes that the House will be able to vote on this bill come Friday, but certainly not before members of the public raise their voices on that. We have heard from a lot of members of the public today, hundreds in fact, who were here at the Indiana State House for a rally on redistricting. My colleague Jenna Webster is here to talk about that. Jenna?
Yeah, Emily and I were both at that protest today. Definitely a lot of criticism for the lawmakers who support redistricting. Mad Voters Indiana helped organize this protest today. Their executive director says here at the State House is where democracy is being put to the test. And I do want to show you what it looked like outside of House chambers a few hours ago as lawmakers started meeting.
So I was kind of proud of Indiana, when Bray said, we don't have the votes, we're not going to do it. And I was very disappointed to see that they got talked back into having this special session. And so I think they need to hear what people think.
What has changed? Nothing has changed in the population. What has changed is that we have a majority of people in our legislature, both here and in Washington, D.C., that think it's okay to throw their weight around and just try to guarantee power.
Now, again, that was what it looked like outside House chambers just a few hours ago as lawmakers started meeting to really have these first discussions about redistricting in this general session. As you can see, it was a very loud crowd. They say they wanted lawmakers and Governor Braun to hear them and why they're against redistricting. And this is people from all different areas of the state who I talked to today. People from Northwest and Northeast Indiana included made the trip down to Indianapolis, and really voters across the political spectrum, too. They pose this as a moral issue, saying it's not fair to redraw the maps. It silences voters and benefits the White House and one political party. And that's not Hoosiers. You heard earlier from protesters that were here who say they're just confused about why lawmakers are even voting on a new map. And voters and those speaking at the protest were also very frustrated today by not only how the map is drawn, but when it was published. They say they're upset they're seeing it for the first time today, saying there was no transparency from lawmakers about what it would look like and what legislators are now being asked to vote on. And I do know a lot of people that were at this protest today. They want to give testimony. They want to attend the hearings this week. So likely not the last time we'll be hearing from people making their voices heard against redistricting.
All right, Jenna Webster, part of our team coverage at the State House. Thanks so much. And we can show you how we got to this point in our political streaming show, Crossroads Politics.
You can find that show streaming right now on WTHR+. Also tonight, we're learning more details about a Thanksgiving Day shooting that went down on the west side. Police tell us a man is hurt, another under arrest. According to the court documents, the two men got into a shootout in a parking lot near North Washington and Witt Tibbs. Police say the suspect is the ex-boyfriend of the victim's sister. murder. The court documents go on to say they had issues for several months, including the ex-boyfriend making threats on numerous occasions.